Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name's Preston, and today we're talking about the news. And we got a few things on the website to talk about, but we also have quite a few cards, so we're just going to run through all this stuff and just quickly touch on the first few things. Official website dropped a ton of different things this week. Only ones I thought were important to talk about at this time I'm going to show. So here's the first few things here. And what we're seeing here is the first official English announcement of the reprint starter decks. We have no idea what's in them yet, but it's leaders that we already have with potentially new cards. I'm guessing it's going to be a lot of reprints and then a couple fresh cards to lighten it up. And if it's not, I don't know who's going to buy them if it's reprints that everyone already has. $11.99 coming out in August. And there's a bunch of them. There's 6 coming all at once, apparently. We'll have to wait and see. I'm excited for it. I hope it's new cards, because if not, I don't know why like people that already have stuff would get them. Moving on to Pirate Party 7. We're getting the Sanji promo. We've talked about this, I believe, before, and Japan has had it in their tournaments for a long time, but we also get our first opportunity to get the new Sakazuki leader that will be coming out around the time that the ban list comes out, so that we still have a blue-black Sakazuki. He's just nerfed. But yeah, our first opportunity starting June in Pirate Party, so your locals are going to have them, and that's really exciting. The next thing up is Store Tournament Volume 7, and we want to scroll down here to our tournament pack. Winner pack is like they usually do. And these are reprints. This is OP-01 Momonosuke, OP-05 Shura, we got Promo Law. This is a big one. This card has been pretty pricey, and because it's played in specific red decks. I think it's the Law deck that plays it currently. And it's finally getting a reprint from that first, I believe it was the Film Red pack that was pretty limited. So this is going to be in our tournament packs, which is great because a lot of people are going to want it, and it will drop down the price of the original, probably a decent amount. And then this is similar, promo 19 of Beppo. And then let's just get a quick look at the winners versions. And these won't probably affect the price of the other cards, just because winners cards tend to stay a little bit different and not really affect the market too much. But it's great. It's great to have stuff like this that only had one release previously get a second release, and in 2 forms, so you can have a winners card or the original or this one, which is great for the market, great for bringing a card that people want back into circulation. The last thing we have here is the Treasure Booster. For the first time, here is a set of containing a random selection of previously released booster packs. Treasure Booster, August 24, $19. So at that price point, and and a promo card. At that price point, we're getting 3 to 4 boosters and a promo. And basically what people are speculating, and I don't know where they get their ideas from either, but potentially any pack from the first 5 packs, maybe 6 at this point because we're in August, random selection of packs. And that means we're getting some OP-01 reprints, some OP-02 reprints. It's not exactly what we were looking for, but it is a decent way to get stuff. It's going to be a hard way to get a pack that you actually want, and I would imagine that in the 4 packs you get, the likelihood of getting a decent hit is going to be tough. So getting secrets and alts feels like it's going to be rough. I doubt for $20 in this type of like setup you're going to get a good hit in every one. But I mean, double packs you get maybe an SR. So it's going to be interesting. There's a random chance of getting the secrets that you've been missing out of early packs, or even getting to open early packs. And I'm really excited to see when this comes out how that will affect the early market stuff, because OP-01 and I think all the way up to OP-3 or 4 is out of print. So whatever's there is there. So it's causing the market to be a little inflated just due to demand. And I'm wondering how that will affect us moving forward now that we're getting some reprints for those early sets, at least announcement of those reprints. But with that being said, we're going to jump into our cards for the week. Okay, first up we have Southbird. Yellow character, 1 cost, 2k power, animal, Jaya, Sky Island, 1k counter. On play, look at the top 7 cards of your deck and play up to 1 upper yard from among them. Then place the rest of the cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. Top 7 is huge. I think there's only 1 upper yard because I think they're talking about the like stage, unless they're talking about type, which makes it a little bit better. But if they're talking about the stage, that's like 4 out of your whole deck that you're trying to hit with this. And there's other searchers that are going to be putting it around and stuff like that. So it's really interesting. I hope they mean upper yard type. That would be nice, and it would make that deck crazy because now it has multiple searchers. But I think the assumption currently is that they're talking about the stage. And just a quick reminder, this is the upper yard we're talking about. On play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal 1 Sky Island type, and add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So it's a searcher that gets a card that searches, that gets a Sky Island. So that could be potentially like really cool and I believe we have other cards that do that. So we're searching out our searcher and then getting a card. And since it's a stage, you play over it, and one of them, I believe, takes it and puts it back to the bottom of your deck. So there's a lot of like revolving searches with this deck that is coming out, which is really interesting. And we'll have to see if people care to play it in contrast to the other yellow decks that are playing well. But moving on to an actual stage to talk about. Zhao, green stage, 3 cost, animals. Activate main. You may rest the stage if your leader has the Minx type. Set up to one of your Dawn as active. End of turn, set up to one of your Minx type characters as active. The type says animal. I wonder if it means minx or if it actually means animal for its type. That's interesting, but it could be just a mistranslation because they do call out minx specifically in the effect. I don't know. Onto its effect. Activate main, you get to rest the stage, and if you have a minx card, you activate a Dawn. That's pretty cool. Restanding Dawn is a thing that happens in green, and it was really, really like prevalent inside the Dofi archetype, where you had a lot of Dawn manipulation. The leader reset too, but it didn't really take too much. But it seems like the minks are going to go a little bit heavier on restanding stuff, and this does 2 different things, which is a great stage effect. So by tapping it, you get to do a thing at the end of your turn. No matter what, you set a mink back to active. That's pretty cool. A few weeks ago, maybe even last week, we talked about Peckham's. He's a card that your mink cards cannot be KO'd by effects if they're 3 or less or whatever, as long as this card is active. And I was saying that stinks because it's a strong attacker. It's like 6k power or whatever, and if you want to attack with it, but then its effect to protect is not active, this could just reset the Peckhams back up, and now you have the ability to attack with him and then get his passive effect back up, which is great. This also is going to protect maybe other key cards that aren't Peckhams. I don't know if you play the Peckhams, but it could just protect key cards. Restanding a blocker would be really cool so that you can attack with it if it has a good amount of power and then restand it. Tons of opportunity here, and I love that. Out of a stage at that too. We're looking at a pretty decent effect out of a stage that I think could actually be relevant. So that's really cool to see. Tell me what you think in the comments. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm hoping that the effect of the character cards can actually stand up to that and be useful so that we can actually use this cool stage. Yeah, let's move on to our next card. Next up, why do I hate saying this character's name. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, so bear with me here. Namoru, maybe a Japanese way. Namoru, blue character, 3 cost, 2k power, Fishman, Whitebeard Pirates, 1k counter. Blocker. On play, draw 2 cards, then return 2 cards from your hand to the top or bottom of your deck in any order. That's pretty cool. Great on play. Blue loves to see more cards. This deck loves to put cards back on the top of your deck for the leader ability to hit or to be able to combo off of other things. So being able to choose the top or bottom off of a refresh is great. I want more of the blue side so I can see what we're working with because we have the red Whitebeard Pirates already. But the red Whitebeard Pirates don't really play into that great leader effect. So we're going to want to find a good balance, and we're talking about blue here with so many good effects already. Draw power and great defense and stuff like that. So we'll have to see what we do with that. A 3 cost blocker, I'm pretty sure we got better options, but the on play might make it worth it. Being able to set up for leader ability would be incredible. So I'm assuming we get to see some of this, but it really depends on how the rest of the archetype builds out, because you might not need these things because you already have a really good red side to the Whitebeard Pirates. I think it's cool. It could set up for some great things, but also could just be too much cost for not enough feedback. But I don't know. I like the card. I like the ability. I don't know where it lands in the meta. So we'll move on to another thing I'm not quite sure about. Scratch Banapoo, black character, 4 cost, 5k power, Animal Kingdom Pirates, on air pirates, 1k counter. Blocker, activate main once per turn, give up to one of your opponent's characters -1 cost for the turn. Here's the thing. When you were talking about blockers and we're in the black color, we have really good options already. Like, really good options. You have Borsalino, and is it Rebecca? And it's just, those are just huge powerhouses. And to think that you would play this just for the consistent -1 is weird to me. Like, I don't think you play this over Borsalino. You could play it over Rebecca if you don't play that part of the engine, but I can't imagine in many decks this getting played. Is it a good blocker? Yeah, 5k blocker is great. Is it better than our other options? I really don't think so. So we'll have to see how the rest of the black Animal Kingdom Pirates cards come through, but I have a feeling that this is probably going to fill a box for most people and sit in bulk just because we have better options in black. But that all things could change. We're changing a lot in the upcoming meta, so it could come back around, and since it's going to be searchable and with the queen, it might be more relevant because you're going to be playing that archetype fully to hit what you need. I don't know. With that being said, we're going to jump on to the next thing. The Japanese Twitter posted a video of a bunch of stuff for OP-08, and one of the things they showed is all of the alt-art leaders for OP-08. So we're getting this art style, and they decided to make all the male characters thirst traps. Good for them. They really, I've seen a lot of people laughing at Marco's glow up from the original time he was on the anime till this point. But this seems like a young Marco pre-glasses, pre-old man phase. We also got King smoldering in the corner over here. And then we got this guy just looking creepy. Love it. Love all of them. And, okay, I lied. I don't love all of them. I don't like the Chopper. I don't know why they went this direction with Chopper. Yes, he's a tiny little guy and has a big head. But I think we could have done anything else with anything else to get this leader to actually look good and be worth anything. I mean, look at the rest of them. We got great headshots, and then we got Chopper. And I think it could have been anything. It could have been post-time skip human point. It could have been pre-time skip guard point. It could have been anything. Monster point would have been hilarious as a leader. But we just get this tiny little guy, and I'm not a big fan. And looking at the rest of them, he stands out. So I'm not a huge fan of it. But in this video, they didn't just show leader cards. They also showed characters for each of the colors. And I think they went in order, so we'll try to keep up to that. Our first one here, Tony Chopper, red character, 3 cost, 5k power, Animal Drum Kingdom, Straw Hat Crew. During your turn and on play, when attacking, so many things, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and from among them, play up to 1 animal type character with a power of 4,000 or less. As rested, then place the rest of the cards in the bottom of your deck in any order. So, on play and when attacking. But it's only on play during your turn. So if you somehow cheese it out with a counter, it doesn't get this effect. On play and when attacking, search the top for an animal, rest it. It's interesting. We'll have to see how the animals come through. I keep saying that, is we'll have to see if the cards are worth playing. I currently am not a fan of this archetype, but we have to get some good animal cards to see it. We have a lot of ways to get them out, but we don't have a lot of cards that are worth getting out. I think that's just what it is. So we'll move on to the next one here. Carrot, green character, 5 cost, 6k power, Minx, 1k counter. On play and when attacking, up to one of your opponent's rested 7 cost or less characters do not become active during its owner's next refresh phase. That's pretty crazy. So we're getting similar things to our 10 cost Dofi. We're getting it at 5 cost, and it's happening at least twice on play, and then the next turn when it attacks, if it doesn't get cleared, because I would be trying to clear it. That's pretty cool. This deck's doing a lot of stun. It's doing it at various levels. I think the event card actually does it better than this, but it doesn't give you a body on board. So being able to do it to one character and have this 6k body on board is going to be nice. I'm still waiting for a few more things to say this deck is playable, because right now I still feel like it's in the middle of playable and just a bunch of cute cards. So we'll have to see. Okay, who is next here? Took me a minute to find this effect, but we finally got it. Portuguese de Ace, blue character, 5 cost, 6k power, Whitebeard Pirates, 1k counter. On play, reveal the top 1 card of your deck. You may put into play up to 1 character with type Whitebeard Pirates, and a cost of 4 or less. After this, return the remaining cards to the top or bottom of your deck. I think we have seen it before, and that's why it was so hard to find. It was pretty old. But yeah, it fits the types. I think we talked about it. I'm enjoying the blue stuff, so we won't talk too much about it this time, because it came out weeks ago. Yeah. Pretty cool. And of course, Ace gets an alt art, and it looks like there's hints of Luffy in the background right there. Right hand side. Pretty darn cool, and a great effect to work with the leader ability. A second way to use this archetype. So that's pretty cool to see this alt art already. So moving on to the next one, we got Lin Lin. Alright, let's get into it. Charly Lin Lin, purple character, 9 cost, 9k power, former Rocks Pirates, Big Mom Pirates. Interesting typing there. On play, Dawn -1, trash 1 card from your hand, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life. Then place up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less to the top or bottom of its owner's life face up. Wow, purple. We're just giving you a little bit of everything this set. That's insane. So trashing 1 card in purple, it's fine. You could play this in, let's say, the purple Black King deck or even the purple Kaido deck, and trash your extra stages. Trash your cards that you don't need. We don't care because we're getting so much out of it. You're regaining a life, and then you're placing a 6 cost to the top of the life. So regain a life of your own, potentially put a trigger back to the top of your life also. Even though it's face up, I believe triggers still activate. We'll have to look at our rule set. But still, removing your opponents, doing what Katakuri does, gaining life. This card's insane. So we finally know what pudding, purple yellow pudding is going to be ramping to. We have this and we have 10 Mom. And this one's pretty crazy. 10 Mom's pretty crazy. And just talking about anything Big Mom Pirates in yellow is going to be crazy. So we have quite an insane leader already with pudding. And we kind of had a feeling it was going to be that way. Yellow is really strong already, and then we're getting really good support for purple Big Mom, I feel like. We got good ramp, we're getting a good big ending character. I think it's going to be good. I can't imagine it being bad at this point. But we also have just so much that's going for it. I think it has a lot of potential. But we'll just, I don't know. Let's move on to the next card. Okay, Black Maria, purple character, 3 cost, 2k power, Animal Kingdom Pirates, 2k counter. Activate main once per turn. If you have no other Black Maria, add up to 5 Dawn cards from your Dawn deck rested. Then, at the end of your turn, return Dawn cards from your field to the Dawn deck until the number of Dawn cards on your field is equal to the number on your opponent's field. That's wild. That's absolutely insane. Yeah, that's a lot. Oh my goodness, that's absolutely the best card that I've ever read. This is ramping 5 every single time. Purple has the best minuses, and the only really the minuses, but the best minuses at endgame. Leader Kaido can -7. The Rush Kaido minuses a few. The Nuke Kaido minuses a lot. Like, there's huge effects that minus a ton. I mean, 10 cost Luffy minuses 10. That's insane. With combos, you could get a huge character on board. Play this card the first turn you can, possibly sooner than you would expect with some of the leaders that ramp on their own, and then ramp from 3 to 8. They're rested the first turn, but since your opponent, we're in endgame, we already hit 10 once. We're in endgame, so we're going to keep up to the amount that your opponent has. And yeah, there's Trafalgar Law Purple Red Leader that doesn't really keep a lot of Dawn, but then you just play differently. And you're not going to always go for this, obviously, but when you do and when you can, being able to hit these huge game swinging effects and then come back with Dawn within a turn, like, that's insane. Being able to get to this potentially the next turn with some leaders. So you're at 3 at the beginning of your turn, you go up to 8, and then you end your turn and you're at 10 again, and you're dropping another huge character. Or you're running the mono purple Kaido, minusing 7, and then basically getting back up to 10 the next turn to -7. So that leader effect is super viable now. It's just an absolutely insane way to end this week's episode, is this absolutely insane SR. We were seeing the alt art here, but there's also obviously a regular art. This card's crazy, and I'm so happy that it ended at the end of the video because it's such a good card to end on. But this was an absolutely ridiculously long episode because there was so much to talk about. So if you're still here, thank you for hanging in there. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up. If you want to get more One Piece TCG content, hit that subscribe. And until next time, peace.